What up, homies? It's your boy, Ashiko, 7:10 a.m. How you doing? You know what that means. Time to get to some pressing matters. Yes, that's correct, Jeff. Jeff from Ohio. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're all having a great day out there. Wonderful to see Jeffy in the chat. Gordo, Dusty, Freddie, Larry. Crazy Larry? Long Balls Larry. That sounds better. Crazy Eye. Old Crazy Eyes Larry. Eh? Big shouts out to my buddy Crazy Eyes. So, we're writing down the names of people who are cool and awesome today. So, let that be a lesson to ya. We're going to get to some pressing matters. All right. Yo, I was just thinking of you. How's it going, my man? Let's get your message pinned. Good morning. My man. Ice Alpha 1035. In the house. My morning is going great, buddy. How's yours? 7:10 a.m. I thought, let's talk. You know? Let's talk about it rather than keep it on our chest. Let's talk about it. You know? You're somewhere you don't have to pay to get a little support, and I'm not here to tell you I'm here to, do anything somebody else is better at. I'm just saying, let's talk. As a friend, as a friend to anybody who feels like having a chat. It could be about the sky. It could be about growing up. I was kind of quickly and temporarily overwhelmed with sadness when I had a thought about my childhood in the hands of a evil man this morning for a second, and then I quickly overcame it. I quickly bounced back. Like a hash man does, Took me all of 9 seconds. Because I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not young. I'm not a little kid. Nobody can give me bruises anymore or any of it. So I'm like, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal, right? Someone could try to give me a bruise. It just wouldn't go over too good for them. You know what I mean? But a bit to be honest, but glad you're doing well. So tell me, what's on your mind? Talk to me. My buddy, Ice Alpha 1035. Talk to me, bro. By the way, that is one styling profile picture. I looked at it the day I messaged you there 2-3 days ago. Sorry, I've been awake for 92 hours and sleeping for 4 of them. I'm fine. I'm going for a sleep stream today, so tune in to win great prizes of valuable knowledge and laughter. Smiles are free on this show. I give them away every day. Thank you in advance to those who are gracious enough to accept the smiles, and in return, they smile back gently. I get it. It's not easy. But don't give up smiling, right? So, we got a couple satchels, packoojas, packets, however you want to refer to them. Paquettes. If you're French, they're referred to as paquettes. Oh, man. What a day, folks. I'm telling you, the hotter I get, the more I realize it's time to shave my chest. A little breezy. It's actually freezing in Winnipeg. I'm sitting on tile floor and the granite countertop keeps touching my soft, warm belly, which is now apparently getting a chill. So we've decided to put a t-shirt on. Well, we aren't doing it up, or a button. I'll put a shirt on, but I'm not buttoning her up, okay? Ladies, just so you know, ladies. The Hashman rides Miami Vice style pretty much all summer. If I'm not naked, I'm pretty much buck naked, you know? It's just how it's just the way it is. Do we have any berries, you know? With all these questions, you know? Berries. Holy Dinah, bro. What does it take for a guy to get a bowl of berries around here, you know? Bags of shake everywhere, I'm gonna turn those today. Do you believe in afterlife? Yes, I do. I actually had a very close encounter. One time that I know for sure was what we're speaking on right now. It was either that or it was an energy dragon. No, it was, for being real, yes, I was 20 or 21 and I got home early. I got off work early that day. Dropped off at the edge of my driveway. Buddy tore out of there, did a burnout and just tore out of there. I waved him off. He clouded me out, dusting. He didn't dust me out, but it could have been. I'm making it a little. Yeah, I was wafting the dust out of my hair and my eyes and in my cracks and my butt. It was everywhere. It was a major burner, and he went sideways for the he went sideways for the rest of the way home. So what happened next was pretty unbelievable. I took a couple steps up my walk, and I have a beautiful walkway. I'll just leave it there. I don't want to give descriptions of what I have at my old house. And from the time I took my first foot on there, and my family had built it for me when I was very young. I took my first step on there. It was beautiful. It's $10,000 walkway throughout my old pad, my home, and this was done in the 90s. This was done when I was 13, 93, 92, something like that. So I step out onto this sidewalk, and I immediately feel good, and I'm glad I'm off work early. It's 12:30, 1 p.m. You know, it's like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I worked every day of the week. It didn't matter what day it was. I worked 7 days a week. And hang on, there's more. And I look, and it's a nice day, and it feels like it's a Friday or a Saturday, right? Like, my life back then was pretty incredible, pretty unbelievable. I partied every day. Every day. There wasn't a day that didn't go by that I didn't party and I didn't have a bunch of chicks hanging off me. Moving on. I'm a very good looking dude. And so I take a step onto my sidewalk, and lo and behold, in front of me is my home. I'm looking at the door of my house, and there's 3 or 4 windows on the side of the door, or 2 or 3 windows on the left side, and there's a couple windows on the other, or vice versa, whatever. And again, I'm not going to be too specific, but I want you to understand and tell them the truth. In one of the windows is easiest way to describe it is an apparition. Now I'll go further and say differently. In the window is a glowing bright white silhouette, as if it were an LED light on pitch white, but it's fuzzy. And it's like staticky with LED light, but extremely bright. And remember, it's very bright outside. To see something in the window, but here's the other thing. I also have blinds. And the blinds are up. From what it looks like from where I'm standing, the blinds are up. And it's in the silhouette of a woman wearing it looks like Mother Teresa wearing, you know, the head thing, the head thing that nuns wear. except it's all white. Maybe it's a wedding gown with the veil pulled back, but it's all white, pure white in the silhouette of a woman. If you were to go like with your fingers and go woman's head, woman's hair, and then just soft shoulders and like not a wide pair of shoulders like me or all my construction buddies. I got like a 58-inch chest. I'm a big dude. I'm not a small man. And I know what a woman looks like. I banged a boatload of them by years at the age of 20, 21. Oh, boatload. And I mean a large boat. And there is a dinghy behind it with 3 rafts. It's all full. Women hanging off the ropes the whole way. They're dangling off the edges of the life preservers, hanging off the edge of the boat, off of the hot toes, off the other women. Are you catching my drift? A lot of women. And I see this and I think someone's in my house, right? And I have a Dalmatian and I go and I'm panicking. But I'm not scared. I should rephrase this. Let me go back. I misspoke. I have a feeling of joy and happiness. I was startled, but only for a millisecond, a half a second. After that, it was like I was being told without being told, do not be scared. So I wasn't. But I had to see what was in my house. So I bolted. I had just got off work. I start work at 4 in the morning. I get up at 3 in the morning to be home at 12 or 1, and that's an early day. I work a minimum of 12, 13, 14 hours a day. Every day, if there's a day of work, that's what I did. Big days. I'm a boss, and I crushed it. Okay, moving on. Listen to this. That's why when I hear people say, "Oh, nobody does what I do." Like you can't. People still can't make the money that I make, and it's not that. I prefer to have a body and a brain and a mind. It's very dangerous, most of the work I've ever done. Very dangerous. Very dangerous jobs. The job I'm referring to now is an extremely dangerous industry. Extremely dangerous. Far more dangerous than most people will ever have a job. No one will ever do a job like mine that I did when I was a teenager. No one. It's not something you can get into anymore. It's a family thing. Like families do it. And if you weren't ingrained and indoctrinated into that lifestyle, you will never get a chance to be in it. Sure, you might be like their helper for a time, a duration, but you're never going to be a co-owner or have your own thing. Never. It's they don't want you mowing their lawn, right? So they ain't going to teach you how to get it done. Trust me when I know. I could, but I'm a boss. Now, and I grew up doing it, and the respect I earned was impeccable. It's unreal. So, moving back to the story of the one time Hashi saw a ghost / apparition / something afterlifey. Paranormally, even. On this day, I am paranorman. There ain't nothing normal about me. So I go into the house and I swing my head over, and the blinds are down, and there's nothing there. There's nobody there. I thought, well, maybe my dog was in the window, and I mistook my dog for a bright energy that looked like the silhouette of a woman, not a huge 100-pound, monster of a Dalmatian that barks really loud, and you can't confuse that with an apparition. He was sleeping in the other room. To tell you the honest to goodness truth, that day blows me away and still baffles me to this very day. I need that guardian angel. I need that person to watch over me. Evil has been coming at me so strong and so hard for so long. I live in a place where evil thrives off of good humans' energy, good man, good woman's energy, and I would say I'm even in more danger because I understand, far more than like one of the only things that doesn't I am not dangerous because I am so powerful, right? My mind is so powerful. I choose not to. Uh, I can smell a honey pot a mile away. It doesn't even have to be a chick. It could be gold bars or brand new cars or, I'm never gonna take a job where I have to sacrifice my conscience. That's just not who I am. So would you consider yourself religious? Yeah, I'm religious in the sense where I always want to make sure I uphold natural law, and if anybody was drowning, I would jump in the water no matter how hot or cold the water is to save them. I think we mistake religion, and what we understand of religion is taught to us by a new age of person who controls the book and edited the good book, right? I believe in I believe there are commandments, powerful commandments that a man and a woman should live by. And if that leads down a road of religion, then so be it, right? It's not like I have I have not an evil bone in my body, but what I do have is there's a lot of stigma, right? There's a lot of religion that put me down throughout my life as I was a good man, as I saved young children from drowning, as I saved, older men from probably having their heads caved in. Uh, I just never wanted to see anybody get hurt. And if I noticed or saw the devil in someone's eyes, yeah, I would intervene, no matter how big or how evil and vicious they were at that time. I would always intervene. I always will intervene. Now, if that makes me religious, so be it. But am I a man of a single God and an entity, and do I devote my life to a certain way of thinking? No, no. I devote my life to being a good man. And if that rounds out to being some sort of religious person in every book or in some of it, then so be it, right? But again, religion has been misconstrued by the powers that be purposefully. And I swear by it. I know it. I feel it in my heart of heart and in my conscience. It screams at me. Something has been re-edited, reworded in their favor, you know? And again, I mean, nobody disrespect. I never said Allah or Jesus or, Catholic religion or Christianity is the best. I think that all religions have some good that allows people to to know that they're doing the right thing. Now, does it go further and say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that? And you can see it, you know it, you can smell it, that the person preaching to you and screaming at you at the very front of the altar has done at least half of those things last week. Right? So one of the biggest things that I live by is the commandments of don't be envious, right? Don't be greed driven and envious, right? And I believe that, and obviously thou shalt not lie. To me, that has to fit in there instantaneously. And probably the top. And if thou lies, thou shalt say thou hast lied within an hour, or thou is an evil devilish person. Period. Right? You should have to constantly admit your sins that you think that you're relieved of when you go into the little box and the guy there with the BMW and the $1 million house and the gold chains and goes on 17 trips a year. Shame on you. Shame on you if you go on 17 trips a year while the rest of your parish goes on 0 trips because they can't afford it, because they gave 10 to 20% of their money every Sunday instead of feeding their families. Shame on you. Shame on you. So let me tell you, if there is an entity that steals from the blind blindly while making you feel like you owe it to them, it's that group. Trust me. So is greed a thing? Yes. Do they do greed-driven things? Yes. Do they lead by example? No. A preacher should be in rags. A preacher should wear rags. And if a preacher does not wear rags, that is the devil in disguise. Period. That's a fact. My clothes are from Value Village, and I know I'm a good man. I tell people When they say that's a nice shirt, I say this was $9 fucking at Value Village 5-6 years ago. That's a real man. A man that can walk the streets and wear rags and still hold his head high and be a good man. That's the proper way to live. Not driving a BMW, wearing gold chains with big gold rings, and wearing $1,000 suits. That is scum of the earth. And if there's anybody who disagrees with me in the chat, never come back. Because you're part of the problem in this day and age of why society, parents are poor, right? Good parents are being fooled by devils to hand over their money. And it's a shameful, shameful, shameful way to live. If you know that this Sunday you're going to get a new car because your parish pays for it, man, you're a shameful person. Shameful. You've never shoveled rocks, and you get up in front of people and you make $150,000 to $250,000 a year fucking for talking out loud on Sunday for fucking 1 to 4 hours. Fuck off. Don't come back here. You know, like the people that support these devilish entities, well, you know, giving me nothing. You know, remember, you come here all week, you hear me out, but then you give me nothing and you support the absolute devil himself. Think about it, you know? You're never going to find a truer show on the internet, because this is I have been there and I have seen the way the devils walk among us. They get giddy when the hat gets passed around. We all get sad because we're broke. And the fucker at the front is so happy to steal our money. So I thank you all so much for tuning in. But remember, Let's Talk is about real shit. So if you ain't real, probably best fuck right off right now, because I'm the real deal. I don't know if you ever seen a preacher or know somebody who knows a preacher, but they live a very carefree life, you know? Do you know their job has never gone on strike? And a preacher has never lost a day's wage in a fucking preacher's life? A preacher doesn't have to worry about their job becoming extinct. See, there's certain things I understand about the system, and I see how nonchalant and how laxadavid they really take it, right? You'll never see a preacher empty his fucking bank account for his parish and say, you know what? I see everybody in my parish is struggling. I'm going to make sure you guys don't have to support this entity for the next 4 years. You've all done so much. I want you all to come every Sunday. There's going to be free cookies, cake, coffee. I'm going to supply it all. I'm a millionaire now. I'm going to give back all the money I made. I'm going to sell my home and rent it, and rent a small fucking 1-bedroom, right? You'll never see a preacher do that. Do you want to know why? Because they're greed-driven. They're a wolf in sheep's clothing, portraying as though they are a saint and a shepherd. Meanwhile, taking all your money like the fucking devil themselves. Tell me different. Prove me wrong. Go show me one preacher that gave away everything they have and they wear rags now, after realizing the mistakes of their evil ways. You won't. And those entities prey on old people harder than anyone, which should be highly illegal. And they're the easiest to soften up and say, hey, can I get $50? Can I get an extra 20 this check? You know? You don't realize how most old people, and people who are nerds, they don't have friends. They can't make friends. They're too nerdy, right? You have nothing to talk about except this one thing that's been spaced into your head for the last 400 years, right? Indoctrined by your family's family and their family's family. And before you know it, you got a bunch of people believing what somebody has edited in the last 40 days, right? Google has edited the James Bible. Last week, Google AI started editing the James Bible. Google bought the James Bible. Just so you know, so when you read the Bible, it's now edited by the people who control Google. That's cool. That's awesome, isn't it? But did you know who's been editing and revising the good books for the last 100 years? Ah, you don't. So the reason I make these shows for you to watch is so we can have a group of people who can actually comprehend, get by on their own. One day, I'll be gone from YouTube one day. One day I'll just never show up again. Trust me when I say I'm living forever. I'm telling you. I will I will fly an electromagnetic vehicle to the hidden lands, and I will live on forever. I may still come back here. It'll only be digitally or in disguise to watch Mike Tyson fight, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and Fast Eddie all at once. You know what I'm saying? But I want you all to know that the reason that I don't come back isn't because of you. It's to further and progress my learning and understanding of plants. And I believe I'm learning in a miniature age, and it's time for me to learn how to grow real monsters in the hidden lands, right? The trees are gone here, and I'm gonna need a 24-hour light cycle. Fairly religious, yet not religious at all? Question mark? Because I know what religion is, right? Like, we've been fooled by the wizard who owns the TV station, who owns the publishing agencies, who wrote all the books for us as kids, who wrote all the books for our parents as kids, their parents as kids. They controlled, 100 years, right? Why did the CIA make 2,500 movies? Answer me this. How come the CIA has made 2,500 movies or been part of 2,500 films in America if there isn't a indoctrination plan? Why is the CIA movie stars? But I told everyone 7 years ago the CIA is into movies, sports, so NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, it's obvious, and obviously films. Obviously. You're telling me all of a sudden somebody just gets super popular and super famous out of the blue? No, it's called a plant, right? Like, you look at somebody specific, comedian of a specific demographic. There hadn't been one for how many decades, right? And what happened to the last one and two of them, right? Like, do you guys know what happened to Martin Lawrence? Look up Martin Lawrence. Do you know what happened to Dave Chappelle? Look up Dave Chappelle. Prove me wrong after just those two. And have you heard of a guy named Cat Williams? You know what Cat Williams has said? So once you do the math, it's pretty straightforward. There's obviously something going on, right? But to a bunch of simpletons, who eat chips and, go to bingo and watch CNN all day, you can't be spoon-fed lies fast enough, right? You can't hate on Trump fast enough and all these weird things, man. So there's probably people out there that are happy with what happened to Mr. Trump out there. The devils themselves would be like, oh, it's too bad they missed. Like, can you imagine people that say that? Can you imagine? What if Trump said that about you? And put it to you straight, Trump's got a lot more power than you, right? So Trump could get his word out a lot harder, a lot farther, and a lot faster than you ever could. How come Trump doesn't talk bad about people, but yet you do? And Trump's a bad guy. We all live in glass houses and we all choose to think we're better than others. Now, I'm better than a lot of people because I didn't, abuse children. I never hit a kid. I never raped a kid. How many people can say that, right? Like, hopefully a lot. But if you grew up in the 60s and 70s, you probably did at least one of those to a kid, right? So it's despicable what's out there, right? I grew up in an abusive household, and I was able to get away from it at a very young age, but I found out later what was happening. You know what I mean? Very sad. Oh, well, Carlin's the man, right? Like I've said for a few weeks now that George Carlin is the man. I've been saying since day one of the show. I used to say the very first 10 episodes. No one's better than George Carlin, right? No one in the world will ever match what George Carlin was throwing down, right? No one. So, how many people can say that, right? And I'm not saying I'm even remotely on George Carlin's level, yet I am, right? I'm saying it. But it's just slightly 1%. I want to throw up saying it. I feel bad because I probably am not. But a guy can lie, right? A guy can try to lie. Yet I am. Yet I am what, my friend? I don't know. If it's a George Carlin line, I don't. I haven't watched Mr. George Carlin for decades. He's definitely a boss. All right. Oh, did I say yet I am? I think you might have misunderstood. Did I really say that? You might have to go back and listen to it, buddy. Did I say that? Maybe 1%? Didn't I finish with yet I am? Maybe 1%? Is that how I worded it though? We all have a little bit of George Carlin in us, possibly a lot. The guy was a sex mogul. Come on, look at him. Go on to him. Where's my gray cat? No. Where is my cat? Why do I not see cat anywhere here? Gee whiz. He is upside down on his back, curled up into a ball, spinning like a seashell. When you said you were on his level, I'm not yet. I am. I'm gonna need you to go back and watch the replay, buddy. I feel like there was something else in between there. Just saying. Did we make another episode of a cockolite or something? A cocklight or something? Is a cockolite a thing though? My wife tried buying me one on Amazon. Apparently it's freaking Amazon Prime Day. I'm boycotting that garbage. I'm gonna need you to go watch the replay and then I want you to timestamp me when I say that, okay? I ain't buying it. I think there's other words in between there. You can get a pen and verbatim it for me, buddy, because I'm telling you, if that's the way I said that, I'm going to have to delete this stream. I am at least 99% identical to George Carlin. Even, I can't say it. I'm obviously not better. But, I'm pretty darn good looking, you know? George Carlin would have his hands full with a dude like me, you know? Oh, I went to the basement. I didn't even grab berries, you know? How is a dude supposed to have a berry off without a bowl of berries? Where's my tea? Right here? Let's get some. on. So when I originally started this show, I was the only Hashman around. There was this other guy who claimed he was, but we all know now he was just getting shake from bikers running it, saying it was his, right? All his clones and everything came from bikers, you know? Hey, so did mine. I mean, so did yours. Like everybody's did, right? That's where all the clones in the world came from. It's from bikers, right? I don't know how small people's minds are, but eventually some variety you have originated in their hands and then went to somebody else who had a cousin, who had a nephew, who had a friend, who had another friend. They're not bikers, they just ended up with a biker clone, that's all. But yeah, it's kind of funny the way the world works, eh? Me? I've never stolen the thunder from anybody. I always tell people how like it is, straight up, you know. I'm a boss, a legend, a myth, you know. And I'm having toast for breakfast. How many legends say they're having toasted tomato open-faced sandwiches for breakfast? Let's wash this tomato. On the vine, ripened tomato. Nothing like it in the world. So sweet, so sultry. So divine. So we're also going to have, damn, I forgot what I was going to say. We're also going to have electrolytes and a protein shake. So hydration station will be getting into full effect right away. I'm going to make a few phone calls, believe it or not. So after the phone calls, I'll be back with a sleep stream. I've got to do some editing on some videos, so it's always a blast in the morning. We'll play some Golf Clash if I decide to. I'm considering taking Golf Clash and, you know, not playing it as much due to the fact that it's just not paying. I don't make any money on that game. The advertisers aren't paying me good. So I think I'm done with Golf Clash. I'm going to go back to some of the other games that pay really good that I played for years. And they pay me really good. I should be specific. They don't just pay anybody. I'm Mobile Legends World Champion. The tournament's this weekend, so I'm just going to crush everyone in my path. I haven't played a tournament in 19 weeks, 17 weeks. I've missed the tournament 9 or 10 weeks in a row. I get a lot of free entrance tickets. I do a lot of, you know, I'm one of the best gamers in the world, so I get entrance tickets, whereas most people have to buy them because they can't figure out how to win enough games, right? When you're a champion, you're a champion, you're a champion, right? So I'm sitting on 3 or 4 entrance tickets right now, so I can play a month of tournaments for free. And that's without me even playing for the next, 90 days, 60 days, whatever it is. So let's do that, let's win a world championship and get it, Ice, I'm telling you, man, confidence is confidence. There's nothing, one thing I can honestly say is there are people out there that don't want you to be confident, okay? And think like this, okay? A confident person gets a deal at a car lot. A confident person gets a raise in their building. A confident person never gets pushed around or called a dummy, right? And if they do, I mean, you're dealing with the devil. And you definitely don't want to sit in that circle too much longer, right? But let me be real. A confident person is a boss, is a legend, is entirely, hypothetically, and literally speaking, the Hashman, okay? So thank you for noting the obvious, putting to you politely. Thank you for noting the obvious, which is that I am a very confident man, right? I have skills far beyond my years that I choose to utilize at any given time to better the world, right? I'm not doing it to better my bank account. How many times do you see me come on here and go, I'll give you the idea for this, but I'm going to need money? Or do I just come on here and tell people how to better themselves, right? So the difference is that my confidence isn't greed-driven. I don't have underlying something in the back of my head going, okay, as long as this happens, I'm going to continue to do this, and that. I'll show my bank accounts, man. They're very small bank accounts. I don't need to be this guy that drives. Of course, I want to drive around in a Lambo. Not because I'm a baller, not because I'm the hottest dude in Winnipeg, but because
I deserve a Lambo. I work very, very hard. We are 23 videos away from 20,000 fully monetized movies, films, live on YouTube, films. Then I have another 6,666 live stream of privated videos that I will turn into more movies soon, right? Once I complete that, I'm going to go back to the editing drawing board, create a new channel, post those 6,000 or 2,000 of those there, create another channel, post 500, 1,000 of those there. Trust me when I say I'm about to become the biggest and baddest thing on YouTube ever, right? The content that made me famous, I haven't featured for 5 years, over 5 years. The content that was going viral every second of the day, I had 3, 4, 500 views. I had to privatize those videos, okay? So trust me when I say I am the legend, and yes, I'm confident, but I am for all the right reasons. I'm confident, right? I'm not confident because I'm holding all your money, telling you guys to make sure you get a bunch more money worked this week because I want 20% more of your money. I'm not that confident preacher guy. I'm the confident hash man. I'm the better half of the preacher that he should have always been, but didn't because he was overtaken by greed, driven by evil, right? Remember this. I don't ask you for 20% of your paycheck. The preacher does. Remember that, bud. There's a huge difference in this world. People will always throw shade on the hash man for what I just said because they lead a life of lies. Period. If you lead a life of lies, trust me when I say you're the devil themselves, just in disguise. If you lead a life of lies, if you lie to your wife every day about where you're going and where you've been, you are no better than the devil. No better. Anybody who thinks they are not the devil but still lies to their wife every day, lies to their spouse, lies to their children, I'll ask you this. If you had the choice to choose a man or a woman who lied to you every day or one who didn't, which would you pick if you had the choice, if you had the option to choose? Of course you would pick the one who did never lie to you, never do you wrong. Tell you you're crazy for thinking like that when in fact they are the one who is the devil, making you feel this certain type of way. Trust me, a lot of you can relate to what I just said right now. I'll tell you straight up, once you catch the devil in their evil ways and you learn that you were right all along, trust me when I say it doesn't make you feel any better, folks. It does not make you feel any better. When I found out that Melty Sloppy Heads was actually a really bad person after I was pretty sure he was, but he portrayed like he was a saint. A saint. We find out later from his wife and his children that they want nothing to do with him ever again. Think about that. Now there's a lot of people, you feel stupid, right? Hi. Hi, meow meow. Oh, fresh water? How was your tuna and salmon salad, buddy? Was it excellente? We got him a fresh bowl of water. We got him a fresh plate. Fresh cat food this morning at about, 6 a.m. This cat's spoiled rotten. But now I'm getting him even fresher water. There was a little bit of cat food in your bowl. Yeah, you got a cat food on the side of your mouth and it dripped in your bowl. There you go. Eat your food and drink your water. Be quiet now. It's 8:05. You be quiet. Yeah, sit there and be a nice boy. Shh, quiet. Hey, chill. Look at my little dude. Look at my little fart burglar. Hey? My little fart burglar? He's my everything. Sloppy Heads also used to abuse his cat on stream, so I'll never respect him. Hopefully he doesn't go back to Colorado, because trust me when I say it wouldn't be good for him. Little fart burglar. Right? Just sitting here mowing down 18, 19 of these. Got that really nice seed bread. Really red tomatoes. Just beautiful. You said you were on his level. No, I am on George Carlin's level. I'll just never be George Carlin. Name one more white dude telling off every rich white dude in the world. I've been doing it for fucking 7 years. With my balls in my hand. Nobody puts on a better comedic act than the Hash Man. George is gone, so he's energy, right? I never want to go to church. I never want to see the inside of a church. I don't want to hang out with anyone who goes to church. I'm just not into church. Yet, if I see someone in public and they're wearing regular clothes that aren't too fancy, I'll stop and say hi to anybody. As long as you're not really, like, if you stink and you got, like, decent clothes on, but you're just dirty and, like, all greasy, I don't want to hang out with you. But if you're a less fortunate person, you don't have a house, and, you know, you might have a little bit of dirt on you, that doesn't bother me for a second. I'll give you a hug. I give less fortunate people a hug all the time. I gave this guy from Quebec $100 and gave him a big hug. He was huge. The guy was like 6'6", like 300 pounds. I said, "You wait here with your cute dog." I said, "I'll be right back." And me and my wife went to the bank. I ran in. I grabbed $100. I just got my YouTube check, so I grabbed $100 out of my, I grabbed whatever, $400, $300 out of my account, and I gave him $100, 520s. And he was trying to get back to Quebec. That was, I don't know, 6-8 months ago. I'll do it again soon. I really don't have that much money, and I'd like to go on some sort of little small vacation with my wife. So I'm trying to save my YouTube checks to go on vacation. And because I didn't get very much money on YouTube, I probably won't go live for it. Like, it's just going to be a... Plus, I don't want any problems, so I'm not going to tell people where I am. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to go live, right? I'll make videos or something, or... I figure this year, if I just finish up YouTube, maybe I'm done on YouTube next year. We'll see. If I decide to just go to work and then we move right away, or if I move this winter or this spring coming up, I might not come back on YouTube. I don't know for sure. but I'm pretty sure. I'll miss the people and everything, but I had no problem saying bye to. I used to chat with a lot of YouTubers on Instagram back in the day. A lot of dudes. I used to have threads with, plants and all different kinds of cool stuff, right? I chatted with chicks here and there a little bit. I just don't think it's. I don't like it. I don't know why, I just don't like it. I think too much social media is very bad for you. I think it makes you antisocial, like to the utmost. I think it makes people very awkward. It seems like you can't have a conversation with anybody because they always got to check it on Google, right? And everybody's so worried about telling somebody else, like, teaching somebody else some sort of information, The only reason I really give people information is for health purposes, right? I'll be like, oh, that's can cause this or that. And they got sued for this. They're not telling people the court order to ban the media from talking about it, There's all these different things. If you just did the research, right? That's what we say all the time on this show. And, that's not going to change. In the future, I'll still use Google to use the research, or maybe not Google, but I'll use the internet. I'll phone a real friend. I'll call somebody from a university, I'll ask the real questions, right? But a lot of people really respect me because of my honesty, but there's a lot of people that fear me because of my honesty, and they would do anything to try and stop me from being honest with you. And they're the ones behind the screen, right? They're the ones who monitor, right? So, let me explain something I think I should explain in the very beginning of the video. This is, YouTube and Google is an indexing system. And they run the world's largest indexing system for themselves, right? So the system is designed to only allow what they want you to see, okay?